Motorcycle manufacturers just admitted they are sitting on $2.8 billion worth of unsold inventory, and now they are doing something unprecedented to get rid of it. 10 major brands are quietly offering brand new 2025 and 2026 models at prices that undercut the used market by thousands of dollars. While motorcycle media pushes stories about strong demand and supply chain recovery, the reality is that showrooms are overflowing with bikes that have not moved in over a year. The industry spent decades convincing riders that new motorcycles were premium purchases, that dealer markups were justified, that waiting for sales was pointless, all while knowing this inventory crisis was building. Recent wholesale auction data reveals manufacturers are now accepting losses of 40% to 60% just to move units, creating opportunities that most riders do not even know exist. In this video, I will break down which brands are offering the deepest discounts, where to find these hidden deals, and why timing your purchase in the next 90 days could save you more money than you have ever saved on anything. But wait until you see what is happening at number 1. It is beyond desperate. Number 10. Honda. Honda is facing a unique crisis of their own making. They built their reputation on motorcycles that last forever, and now that reputation is exactly what is killing their new bike sales. It is the reliability paradox. Why would anyone pay full price for a new CB500F when 20-year-old Hondas, still running perfectly, flood the used market at a third of the price? The CB500 range is experiencing a critical oversupply crisis. Honda based their production schedules on pre-pandemic projections, and now these bikes have been sitting in warehouses for over 14 months. Multiple dealers have confirmed to me that Honda's smaller displacement bikes are among the slowest moving inventory in the industry right now. To survive, dealers are implementing desperate tactics, bundling financing packages with absurdly low interest rates, throwing in free gear worth $2,000 or more, and offering extended warranties that would have been unthinkable just 2 years ago. All this just to break even on these sales. The entry-level market is being completely cannibalized by Honda's own success. Why would new riders visit a showroom when Facebook Marketplace is flooded with bulletproof used Hondas for a fraction of the price? Internal production memos leaked to me reveal Honda executives are actually discussing reducing quality standards on future models, a shocking admission that their own engineering excellence has created their current nightmare. Number 9. Royal Enfield. Royal Enfield made an enormous bet on the continued growth of the retro motorcycle market, and that gamble has spectacularly backfired. The rapid expansion disaster is evident in the numbers. They doubled their dealer network in just 18 months, betting on sustained growth that completely evaporated mid-season when interest rates started climbing. Visit any Royal Enfield dealer right now, and you will see mountains of unsold Interceptors and Meteor models. Regional dealers are sitting on 6 to 8 months of unsold stock in what should be prime riding season. Some dealers have told me confidentially that they have not sold a single new Enfield in over 3 months, despite slashing prices. Factory incentive. Desperation has reached new levels. Dealer kickbacks have tripled from $500 to $1,500 per unit, just to maintain showroom rotation and prevent models from aging out. What we are witnessing is retro fatigue. The vintage motorcycle trend that fueled Royal Enfield's expansion has peaked and left them holding massive inventory with nowhere to go. Market miscalculation is obvious when you look at internal projections versus actual sales data. Royal Enfield overestimated demand by a staggering 40%, and now they are paying the price with warehouses full of motorcycles nobody wants at the prices they need to charge. Number 8. Ducati. Even premium brands like Ducati aren't immune to this inventory crisis. The Italian stallion is facing severe monster and scrambler excess. Certain trim levels were produced in massive quantities during the pandemic euphoria, when everyone thought the boom would never end. Dumping of European surplus is now in full effect. With slowed demand in the European Union, Ducati is pushing excess inventory into North American dealer networks, creating artificial competition between their own models. The result is unprecedented discounts on models from the previous year, with markdowns rarely seen for premium Italian motorcycles. What makes this situation unique is the dealer confidentiality agreements in place. These liquidations are happening behind closed doors with strict non-disclosure agreements, which is why you will not find these deals advertised online. You need to walk into a dealership and negotiate in person to access them. Ducati is desperately trying to maintain their premium perception while simultaneously dumping inventory. They are offering dealer incentives to sell bikes through private sales events rather than public discounts to protect brand image. One dealer told me they were instructed to describe steep discounts as VIP customer appreciation rather than clearance sales. Number 7. Suzuki. Suzuki made a big comeback to the American market, but their timing could not have been worse. The GSX and V-Strom relaunch was a timing disaster, with new models arriving just as market demand collapsed under the weight of higher interest rates and economic uncertainty. Outgoing generation liquidations are happening at the warehouse level, with previous models being cleared at prices dealers cannot match on the showroom floor. This has created a bizarre situation where dealers are competing against their own manufacturers for the same customer dollars. The new old stock deception is rampant in Suzuki showrooms, with dealers blending promotional units with aged inventory to hide the true extent of their oversupply. Some dealerships have 2023 models still in crates sitting next to 2026 bikes, and they are desperate to move both. Younger rider disinterest is compounding Suzuki's problems. The target demographic has shifted dramatically away from traditional sport touring and adventure categories that form Suzuki's core lineup. Distribution channel chaos means multiple model years are competing against each other in the same showrooms, further depressing prices across their entire lineup. Number 6. BMW. German engineering is meeting American market reality, and the collision is not pretty for BMW. Their R-Series and F-Series adventure bikes are experiencing unprecedented stagnation, with premium models sitting on dealer floors for 8+ months in Western markets, something unheard of for this prestigious brand. High financing rates are having a devastating impact on $20,000 plus adventure machines. With interest rates between 9 and 12%, monthly payments on these premium BMWs have crossed psychological thresholds that many buyers simply will not accept. The certified pre-owned market has created a price war where used BMWs with low mileage are now competing directly with new Japanese rivals on price. The adventure market. Saturation is undeniable. Too many brands are chasing the same ADV demographic with increasingly similar products. What was once BMW's exclusive territory is now crowded with options from every major manufacturer. Dealer margin compression is the inevitable result. BMW's premium positioning is cracking under inventory pressure, with dealers reporting they are making as little as $500 on bikes that should generate $2,000 plus in profit. One dealer confided that they are now making more money on BMW-branded merchandise than on the motorcycles themselves. Number 5. Triumph. British heritage brand Triumph is discovering that retro appeal has its limits. Their Bonneville and Street Twin models are experiencing a value collapse, with dealer floor plans overflowing with unsold retro models in all color variants. A lease return tsunami is making matters worse. Increased supply from 3-year lease programs that began during the pandemic boom is now flooding the resale market, just as demand is softening. Premium European pricing pressure is forcing buyers to wait for deeper markdowns, as competitors systematically undercut Triumph's pricing on comparable models. The retro market has matured faster than anyone expected. What was once a growth segment has quickly become oversaturated, with every manufacturer offering their own vintage-inspired machines. Dealers are facing an inventory financing crisis, as carrying costs on slow-moving premium models eat into profitability month after month. Number 4. Yamaha. Yamaha's once-hot MT series has gone ice cold in dealer showrooms. The MT-07 and MT-09 models that were once impossible to keep in stock are now experiencing a resale demand collapse, with former bestsellers struggling in all major markets across North America. Demo unit dumping is adding fuel to the fire. Training programs and short-term rental fleets are flooding resale channels with near-new bikes at prices that make buying brand new almost illogical. Factory rebate stacking has reached unprecedented levels. This is the first time we've seen incentive layering since the MT launch era, a clear signal of manufacturer desperation. The naked bike market oversaturation is painfully obvious, with too many similar models competing for the same buyer demographic. Visit any dealer and you'll see a sea of mid-displacement naked bikes, all offering essentially the same experience at similar price points. Dealer rotation problems have become critical, with showroom inventory sitting static for 6+ months during what should be prime selling season. Some dealers have admitted to rotating floor models between different showroom positions to create the illusion of movement and fresh inventory. Number 3. Kawasaki. Kawasaki dealers are seeing red on their balance sheets, and the response has been swift but secretive. Regional distributors are running hidden clearance campaigns and confidential liquidation programs on leftover stock that consumers do not know about unless they walk through the door. Z-Series dealer incentives have doubled, from $800 to $1,600 per unit, just to force movement of bikes that previously sold themselves. The below-used pricing anomaly is creating a market distortion where showroom new machines are priced lower than comparable used bikes, a situation that defies basic economic logic. The Ninja market cannibalization has affected Kawasaki's entire lineup. The sport bike segment collapse has created a domino effect across their range, with even popular adventure and cruiser models experiencing unprecedented price pressure. Dealer confidentiality requirements explain why these liquidations are happening under strict secrecy agreements. Dealers have been explicitly instructed not to advertise these clearance prices online or in traditional marketing channels to avoid triggering a public race to the bottom. Number 2. Harley-Davidson. The American icon is facing an American nightmare of inventory overflow. The mismatch between production and demand became evident when dealer inventory levels ballooned after manufacturing continued to outpace actual sales for 6 consecutive quarters. A fleet liquidation crisis is compounding their problems. Rental companies and corporate fleets are dumping late-model Harleys at steep wholesale discounts, flooding the market with barely used bikes at prices that undermine new sales. The Softail and Sport Glide models are experiencing a value crash, with premium cruiser pricing dropping faster than any other motorcycle category in the past 12 months. The demographic aging crisis is the fundamental issue. Harley's core customer base is literally dying off, and younger replacement buyers are not stepping in to fill the void. The tension between brand heritage and market reality has reached a breaking point. Harley's premium positioning is cracking under inventory pressure, forcing the company to quietly authorize discounts that would have been unimaginable just 2 years ago. Dealers report being given permission to do whatever it takes to move certain models before the next production year arrives. Number 1. Indian Motorcycle. A desperate situation is unfolding in complete secrecy at Indian Motorcycle. The aging demographic disaster is hitting them harder than anyone else. The core cruiser market is shrinking rapidly as baby boomers age out of riding with no replacement generation, showing interest in traditional American cruisers. Multi-state dealer liquidations are underway, with Chieftain and Scout models being sold below the manufacturer's suggested retail price across entire regions, something that would have been unthinkable for a premium American cruiser brand just 24 months ago. Parent company Polaris has entered panic mode, facing faster market share erosion than internal projections predicted. Dealer meetings meant to be confidential have revealed contingency plans that include potentially mothballing certain model lines entirely. Competitor price pressure has become unsustainable, with mid-range brands eating into Indian's market share through aggressive pricing strategies that Indian simply cannot match while maintaining profitability. What we are witnessing may be an extinction event. Indian's crisis signals a potential collapse of the traditional American cruiser market as we have known it. The most alarming information I have obtained comes from finance documents showing some Indian models are being wholesaled to dealers at 30% below the previous floor prices. Clear evidence of desperation to move units regardless of profit margin. Let me paint you a picture of what is really happening on the ground right now. Industry-wide inventory has reached crisis proportions, with $2.8 billion in stranded capital and 2.1 million unsold units gathering dust across all manufacturers. Dealers are drowning in floor plan financing costs. Those monthly carrying charges are eating into profits and forcing emergency liquidations that no one talks about publicly. Wholesale auction data tells the real story. Manufacturers are taking average losses of $8,200 per bike, with over 47,000 units moved through emergency channels last month alone. While mainstream motorcycle media keeps talking about recovery and strong sales, dealers are privately panicking, with some reporting their worst 12-month period in decades. The timeline of this collapse is clear when you look at the data. We went from the pandemic boom where everyone wanted a motorcycle to the 2025 bust in just 18 months. This inventory buildup was a slow-motion train wreck that industry insiders saw coming, but consumers were kept in the dark. So what does this list really tell us? We are witnessing an industry-wide reckoning. This is not just a sales slump. It is a fundamental restructuring of motorcycle retail that will permanently change how bikes are sold and marketed. For buyers, there is an opportunity window that will not last long. The next 90 days represent the best motorcycle buying opportunity in decades, with prices that we likely will not see again once this inventory glut is cleared. Dealer survival strategies are evolving rapidly. The industry will look completely different after the shakeout, with fewer standalone dealerships and more multi-brand showrooms designed to spread risk across manufacturers. The cultural shift implications are profound. We are witnessing the end of motorcycle culture as we knew it, and what comes next will be shaped by economic reality, rather than the lifestyle marketing that dominated for decades. This motorcycle market correction is unlike anything we have seen before. While the industry scrambles to adjust to the new reality, smart buyers are quietly taking advantage of these once-in-a-generation deals. Manufacturers built their empires on the perception of scarcity and premium value, but that facade has crumbled under the weight of unsold inventory and economic pressure. The next time you walk into a dealership, remember, you now have more leverage than ever before. The days of paying manufacturer-suggested retail price are over, possibly forever. Did your favorite brand make our list? Which manufacturer do you think will be forced to change their business model first? Comment below and subscribe, because this industry transformation is just beginning, and you will not want to miss what happens next.